Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Shisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Woman asks feminist, why do you hate men? Let's get it.
There just needs to be like an even level playing field, if that makes sense.
The idea that we've spent the bulk of this conversation discussing how men feel about women not wanting their attention, or how men feel about women growing to resist existing in a patriarchy, does tell us that even within women's liberation movements, we still have to prioritize men. And that's the problem.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel this idea of like men and women, we're separate. You stay over there, you stay. Ultimately, we all want to be together. Like, I think this weird movement of we don't need men, men are this, men are trash, men are that. I don't think that's actually the natural desires of women. Like, you will say men are trash, but
for certain women.
Yeah, but you might say men are trash, but then you still want to be with a man. And to me, that blows my mind.
I think it's possible.
Blows my mind too. Purple hair, nose ring, red flag.
It's possible to acknowledge that men create harm towards women, and it's also at the same time possible to desire partnership with a man who does not create harm in your life.
But if you hate something so much, why be with that thing?
Because two things can be true at once, just like how men are misogynistic towards women, but they still desire the comfort and warmth and love of a woman.
Guys, notice how she didn't correct her when she said hate men. She didn't say, I don't hate men. She says, no, I could hate men and still want to be with the man. But notice how most guys who discuss issues regarding to intersexual dynamics, modern dating, you don't hear a lot of guys say, I hate women, because I personally don't. And I don't think most guys in this space who try to help men improve their dating options and navigate modern dating, because it's complicated, hate women. And yet this chick obviously is able to acknowledge or imply by her not rebuttaling that statement and saying, hey, I don't hate men. Let's start there. She didn't say that. She's like, no, I can hate men, but still want to be with one. Make it make sense.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
I thought that was crazy. As always, we're gonna check out a few of these comments, see what the people had to say. First comment here comes from a woman, and it says, why the other woman sounds so stressed out, like her spirit is perplexed to hear another woman speak truth. Where is the sisterhood? Question mark. Gee, you can't make this shit up, man.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
Stop defending men. She out here sounding like that friend who would tell you stay in an abusive relationship. Because ... Yeah, because managers so abusive. You know what's so funny about this? They don't understand that chick is so confused and perplexed and stressed out because she can't believe how backwards and delusional feminists are today. They think they make sense. I've had conversations with women. Talk about stressful men. It gets wild. I'm serious. Try it. You probably have tried it, right? You've had this conversation with your friends and sisters and cousins, and then you get to a point where you're like, I'm not having this conversation with somebody who's like, I know it's gonna go in one ear and out the other. Another gentleman here says, I like what she said, but at the same time, she's denying the duality that we prioritize women and we still get generalized as men who are misogynistic. I do not agree. That's true. Men prioritize women all the time. This commenter goes on to say, misandrist behavior doesn't fix the problem, just like misogynistic behavior doesn't fix the problem. Unity fixes the problem, but your path is your path. Continue your journey, all love. Very well put. Another person here says, women enjoy taming the men they hate. The men they call harmful have the same characteristics they choose every time, and it's really offensive to see how you guys choose the worst kind of men so you can label every man you've come across as misogynistic. This is such a deep point, and you have to understand why. Most women who are out here and they share these terrible experiences with these guys, these aren't the majority of men. These are a select few of men who attract women because either they're naturally attractive, right, due to natural masculinity, or they're high value based on earning potential and their performance in life, or they understand game, right? Pookies and such, and they know how to make a woman fall in love with words. The average guy today is lost. He has no idea. He's following what he hears on TV and movies, on television. Be nice. Yeah, she looks at that guy and says, no, thank you. goes to the guy with the red flags, says, well, you shouldn't be like this. Let me fix you. Let me change you. And then goes through a traumatic situation and starts to label all men as toxic. Someone responded back to that guy and said, completely false. This is obviously a woman, hence why there is a rise in lonely single men. Those men who perpetuate misogynistic behavior are the ones being left behind. Oh, yes, guys. The men who are perpetuating misogynistic, yes, yeah, the rappers you see, they're not busting cheeks. The Andrew Tates of the world, they're not busting cheeks. Future, he's not busting cheeks. Me, right? I'm not busting cheeks. Men who, modern women today, if you say to yourself, I will only give a woman respect who earns it, you'll be labeled as misogynistic. Respect me regardless of who I am, regardless of how I treat you, because I'm a woman. That's what they want. But if you start standing up for yourself, you're labeled someone who hates women. But again, let's not forget the delusion in this comment. She says, those men who are perpetuating misogynistic behavior, if she would label that, she would say, men who are deciding to speak up for themselves and not be doormats. Men who are not the nice guy. They're the ones that women are leaving behind. Come on. Let's be honest. We know what's really going on. Look around you. Go outside. Touch grass. She goes on to say, I chose my boyfriend because he treats me how I deserve to be treated. With the smile and emojis. Yeah, but who was busting those cheeks before him? I assure you there were nothing like her current guy. And hey, I'm just saying this is how it works today. I'm not saying she shouldn't have chosen the guy and she shouldn't be happy. I'm just saying, let's be real here. Next comment here comes from a gentleman and says, women create harm for women too. Are you telling me you've never seen women beat each other up? Furthermore, female same-sex relationships have an extremely high rate of violence. The highest, I believe, statistically speaking, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. He goes on to say, lastly, women harm men too. That's how they get toxic. We've all heard a story about females setting guys up, getting them robbed and beaten. I hope you never have a son because you're one-sided and biased against men. Next comment here with the fire emoji says, thank you. Trying to make it rocket science. If there's an individual man who supports you and doesn't harm you and you want to be with him, that is not supporting the patriarchy. And finally, the last comment here from an obvious feminist, you can tell from the photo, says, Yellow needs to love herself more. Like, friend, why are you so concerned with men? Even if you defend them, they will not grant you immunity from their harm. Men are so dangerous. But the question is, who do you call when you're in danger? And man, guys, as always, curious to know what you think. Leave your comments down below. I appreciate y'all for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pot. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.